To play Cartesian Battleship, you will need some rubber bands and beads, the Cartesian plane board, and the Think Square overlay, and 7 square transparent tiles per team. They need to be labelled with each of the following letters to represent the ships in this game. The B stands for Battleship, D for Destroyer, C for Cruiser, and S for Scout. Each of these ships has different features outlined in the table here. The aim of the game is to destroy your opponent's battleship. This is pretty difficult because battleships have the highest amount of hit points, which is 5. They can take 5 hits before they sink and are removed from the game. So, I'll just start playing a game and you can follow along. The game begins with the first player spending their 4 attack points. Attack points can be spent in 3 different ways. Moving. If a ship chooses to move, that takes 1 action point. So for a scout, that's 6 spaces they can move up to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ships always move orthogonally, so they don't move diagonally, they have to move at 90-degree intervals. So moving costs 1 attack point. Shooting, for a ship to shoot, it must first of all be in range, and then to shoot costs 2 attack points. The final thing a ship can do is a kamikaze. So the game might be at this stage here, and a ship might run in to here, and if it's still got any health left at this stage and it's not been sunk, then it can perform a kamikaze, and that explodes an area of 5 units in any direction from where it's from. And it also damages your own ships. So a kamikaze destroys the ship that blows itself up and gives 2 damage points to each ship within 5 units around it. And again, you'll need to figure that out by creating triangles, which I'll show you in a minute. So this ship would be destroyed and sunk, and each of these ships would receive 2 damage points, which you can put on with whiteboard marker. Now, when a ship receives damage in this game, they lose 2 from their range, which is their shooting ability, and they lose 1 from how far they can travel each turn, to a minimum of 2 units. So the battleship can be, if it got hit 3 times, even though its speed is 4, and if you took 1 from that, you'd be down on 1. The minimum speed for a ship is 2 units. So if you chose the move action, it would be able to move still 2 units. So as the ships get hit, they become weaker and weaker until they're just a useless bit of tin floating in the ocean. So let's run through a few turns just so you get the idea. So yellow's going to go first. They'll use their 4 attack points like this. The scout moves forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The destroyers might move in front of the battleship. They only have a speed of 4, so they can only move 4 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the other one moves in 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've used 4 moves, that's my 4 attack points. This player might move their destroyer forward, 1, 2, 3, 4 units, and now they think the scout's in range, so they're going to take a shot at the scout. So to find out how far and whether this is in range or not, a player creates a rubber band between these 2 places. You can put a bead on if you like, just looks pretty, but it's probably annoying and gets in the way of putting rubber bands. So to figure this out, you create a right angled triangle, and then using Pythagoras, you figure out whether it's in range or not. So this destroyer is undamaged, which means it has a range of 10 units. If we count up from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 10. But the diagonal distance will be less than that. So we figure that out by squaring 6 on this side. So 6 squared is 36, plus 4 squared is 16. So 36 and 16 together makes 52. And so the square root of 52 is well less than the square root of 10, which is 100. So this is within range. And if the destroyer shot at the scout receives 1 damage point, and this team has another turn. So perhaps the destroyer will sulk back to its it's other ships, so it's a bit more protected, or maybe it'll just run a few units away. Now this scout could move 6 if you chose the move action, but now it can only move 5, and its range, its shooting range, has decreased to 4. So the scout couldn't shoot back. It would need to move once or maybe twice to shoot back. So let's just move this up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That might be the end of this player's turn. So they moved once, they shot, which used the 2 action points, and then they moved another ship. And now it's the scout's turn. So the scout might try to move in next turn for a kamikaze, but because it's only got 1 hit point left, the ships would destroy it. That's its 2nd hit point, so a scout would be out of the game, and then they might move forward again. So the game continues until one team's battleship has been sunk. An important rule to remember as the game goes on is that ships are shooting torpedoes, so they can't lob over the top of another ship. When they're shooting, they must shoot to the centre of another ship, and if it passes by the square that another ship is occupying, even on the corners, that ship will block it from hitting the ship behind. So in this case, that destroyer can't shoot the battleship, but if you move the cruiser down to here, it can make a shot. As long as it's in range, this shot won't go past another corner of another ship, and there's nothing blocking it. If this cruiser was moved over here, that would block the shot. Even though it gets to the center of the battleship, it's passing through the cruiser, so that won't be a successful shot. They might as well shoot the cruiser instead, because a successful shot damages that ship at least, rather than no damage at all for a shot like that.